Okay, so Nigeria's 2026 tax overhaul. It's causing a lot of buzz, right? A ton of questions, maybe a little bit of anxiety. What's it actually mean for your money, your business, and yeah, your bank account? Don't worry. In this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you the straight, simple answers you're looking for.
All right, let's just tackle the biggest question head on. This is the one I'm hearing everywhere. Will my bank account be blocked if I don't have a tax identification number or a TIN? It's a huge worry for a lot of people. So let's get straight to it.
And the answer is a big, clear no. Simple as that. You are not going to be locked out of your existing bank account just because you don't have a TIN. Now, hold on, because there are a few important details you'll want to stick around for. So here's what we're going to break down for you. We'll talk about bank accounts and TINs, get into the real goal of this whole reform, bust some of those common tax myths flying around, figure out who actually pays and who's exempt, and finally, what all of this really means for you.
Okay, first up, bank accounts and TINs. Let's get the full story behind that big no we just talked about.
Okay, here's where the nuance comes in. You've got to understand the difference between existing accounts and new ones. For any account you already have, you're good. You'll still have full access. Your bank will probably nudge you to provide a TIN later on, but they won't freeze your account. The real change is for new accounts. Starting in 2026, if you want to open a brand new bank account, you're almost certainly going to need a TIN. So see, this is about future-proofing the system, not about locking people out of their money right now.
So you might be wondering why all these changes in the first place. Well, believe it or not, it's not just about the government trying to collect more money. There's a much bigger idea at play here.
And this quote from Taiwo Oyedele, he's the chairman of the whole tax reform committee, really nails it. He says, at its core, it's about the social contract of trust between citizens and the state. I mean, that gets to the heart of it, right? The goal is to rebuild trust. People are asking really fair questions, Why should I pay taxes? Where's my money actually going? Is this system even fair? This whole reform is basically an attempt to answer those questions and create a system that feels a lot more accountable to everyone.
All right, let's move on to something really important. We're going to bust some of the most common myths out there. There's so much misinformation floating around, so let's just separate the facts from the fiction quick and easy. Okay, here's a huge one. With all this talk about better tracking, people are getting worried that every little transaction is going to get taxed. Your bank transfers, deposits, even POS withdrawals. Is there any truth to that?
Nope, absolutely not. Let's be super clear on this. Just moving your own money around, that is not a taxable event. The government is focused on taxing income. That's your salary, profits from your business, interest you earn on savings, that kind of thing. Your day-to-day transactions, sending money to family, paying at a store, that's not income. It's just you using your money.
Okay, next myth. What about the money that's just sitting there in your account? Is your bank balance itself going to be taxed?
And again, that's a hard no. Tax is on what you earn, not what you have. The government can't just take a slice of your bank balance. That's a really fundamental principle of this entire reform.
So if not everyone is being taxed on everything, who is actually affected by these changes? Let's get into a clear breakdown of who pays tax and, just as importantly, who is exempt under the new rules.
Okay, let's run through this. You can see the exemptions are really designed to protect the most vulnerable. So if you're earning less than 800,000 naira a year, or you're a pensioner, or you're in the military, you're exempt. Simple as that. But some new groups are being brought into the tax net. Creatives and athletes earning money abroad, for instance, will now need to pay tax. Same goes for profits from trading crypto and NFTs. But look at this last one. If you earn foreign income, like dividends or rent from a property abroad, and you bring that money back into Nigeria through official channels, that income remains exempt. That's a pretty interesting incentive.
All right, let's bring this all back home. We've talked about the big picture, but what's the real, practical, day-to-day financial impact of these changes on an average person like you or me?
This is the core of it, the new progressive tax system. Think of it like a ladder. Your first 800,000 naira of income is on the ground floor, totally tax-free. Then you step up. Only the next chunk of your income, up to 2.2 million, gets taxed at 15%, and so on up the ladder. The whole point of this structure is to seriously lower the tax burden, especially for low and middle income earners.
And what does that actually look like in real money? Well, let's take someone earning 6 million naira a year. For them, this is actually a tax cut. Their annual tax bill is going to drop by 116,000 naira. That is real money back in their pocket at the end of the year.
It's not a tax hike for everyone. For many, it's the opposite.
And that's not all. There are a few other new benefits tucked in here. For the very first time, you can actually claim some relief on your rent. If you get a large severance package, the first $50 million of it is tax-free, which is huge. And for all the entrepreneurs out there, small companies with a turnover under 50 million naira will be completely exempt from company income tax. That's a massive boost for small businesses.
So, when you look at it all, these reforms are clearly designed to be fairer and to protect low-income folks. I mean, the laws themselves, they look pretty good on paper. But, and this is the big but, let's go back to what the chairman said. This is all about trust. So the final question really is this. Will these changes be enough to actually rebuild that social contract between the people and the state? I guess only time will tell.